We have, all right. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to see everyone this evening, and thank you very much for coming. I believe the host is going to mute the microphones so there is, so there is not a lot of noise. And they asked me to do a guided Chenrezig meditation, so that I'm going to give it my best. And I'm going to invite you to follow along with me on the screen, and I will be using an older copy of the text that they used to use years ago at KTD Monastery. I just like the print, it's big. Excuse me. And because the printing is big, it's a little easier to read. Okay. So this is in a way, it's going to be like the culmination of our multi-week or multi-month class on the practice of Chenrezig. And if you remember, a long time ago when we started this, I explained that Khenpo Karthar Rinpoche, who was my original teacher of Chenrezig, when I finished the 3-year retreat and he asked me to teach, he said, I would like for you to teach, and he gave me a list of things that he wanted me to teach. And he said, and first and foremost, he said, I'd like for you to teach the Chenrezig practice, because he says, I think it will be very beneficial to everyone to do the mantra and visualization of Chenrezig. And so when I was teaching the multi-week class here, I felt like the main thing to do is to say that this practice reminds us that we have Buddha nature, that no matter how much confusion we experience in our thinking mind, right? In our thinking mind, no matter how much confusion we experience, beneath all of those thoughts and beneath all of our confusion, there is our Buddha nature. It's always with us. It never leaves us. It's with us from the moment we arise in this life, and it even goes beyond death. And so being able to become acquainted with this Buddha nature is incredibly important. And so because Buddha nature is a complex topic, I feel like the easiest way to approach the idea that we have a mind that can awaken to its own Buddha nature is to use symbols. You know, the symbolic meditation of mantra and visualization that is taught in the Tibetan tradition is a symbolic way of relating to our Buddha nature. And so we visualize ourselves as the bodhisattva of compassion. We visualize the bodhisattva of compassion sometimes in front of us, sometimes over our head. And by doing this, we gradually become familiar with the form of awakening in the form of the bodhisattva Chenrezig. And then at the conclusion of the meditation, or near the conclusion of the meditation, we receive a blessing from Chenrezig. We become Chenrezig ourselves, and we enact benefit for suffering beings in the 6 realms. So so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to do a little walkthrough of this meditation and show you a little bit about it by describing the visualizations that we will then do. So here we go. Wish us luck. Please hold in your heart all of the people that you would like to pray for tonight. In order to save time, I'm just going to ask us to all take a moment and think of all the people that we're praying for, and then we'll begin. So in this moment of silence, please bring to your mind all of the people you wish to pray for tonight. Okay. I'm going to do a share screen, and we'll begin with the practice of Chenrezig, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Here's a lovely picture of Chenrezig. And we'll begin with Refuge and bodhichitta, which is recited 3 times. The visualization that goes with this is that we think that in front of us in space is the Bodhisattva Chenrezig, bright and shining, his body completely made of light. He has 1 face and 4 arms. The outer right hand is holding a rosary. The outer left hand is holding a lotus, and his 2 center hands are joined in prayer, holding the gem that is symbolic of our Buddha nature. He's wearing silks and jewels, and he is sitting in the lotus posture. For the purpose of this refuge, we think of him as embodying all of the sources of refuge in one. Meanwhile, we ourselves are our ordinary self, and we think that alongside of us and all around us are gathered in a great crowd, all of the beings of the 6 realms. Thinking of ourselves as their chant leader, we think that right now, as unenlightened beings, we cannot benefit others, but we resolve to practice Chenrezig practice in order to awaken ourselves and benefit beings. And so with that, we'll begin the practice. Thinking of ourselves as being in the presence of the brilliant and made of light Chenrezig, we take refuge and engender bodhicitta. I'll recite the prayer once in English and twice in Tibetan. Until I reach enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, in the Dharma, and the noble Sangha. Through the merit of accomplishing the 6 perfections, may I achieve awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. O Sanje Chudon Soji Chonamla Jangchu Pardu Dani Kyapsu Che Daji Chenso Jibe Sunamki Drola Penshir Sanje Druparsho Sanje Chudan Soji Chonamla Jangchu Pardu Dani Kyapsu Che Daji Chenso Jibe Sunamki Drola Penshir Sanje Druparsho. After reciting this refuge prayer, we think that the Chenrezig that is in front of us shines light upon us and upon all sentient beings, purifying us of all of our negativities, negative karma, obstacles, and obscurations. Then we think that Chenrezig in front of us dissolves into light and merges with us, giving us a blessing. Next, we recite the visualization of Chenrezig. On the crown of myself and all beings present throughout space, on a moon and white lotus, is a Hri syllable from which Chenrezig arises, radiating clear white light suffused with the 5 colors. His eyes gaze in compassion and his smile is loving. Of his 4 arms, the first 2 are joined in prayer, and the lower 2 hold a crystal rosary and a white lotus. He is arrayed in silks and jewel ornaments. He wears an upper robe of doeskin. On his head, and his head ornament is Amitabha, Buddha of boundless light. His 2 feet are in the Vajra posture, in whom we take refuge this now. Oh, so what you think of is that you think that above your head, about the distance, the distance is a cubit, so it's about 1.5 feet over your head is a white lotus flower made of white light and covered by the moon, which is flat like a cushion. And on top of that is the Hri syllable. Now, if you can't see the Hri syllable, don't worry. You can just visualize a small sphere of white light. As you visualize this, you think that this white light gives off rays of light that go to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and make offerings to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And then the light goes downward and outward to all sentient beings, purifying them of negativity and giving them blessings. The lights return to the little sphere of light or the little seed syllable, and then Chenrezig arises from this. And he is located above the top of our head. He is wearing the silks and jewels, and he's made of brilliant white light suffused with the 5 colors. And around, and we think of him as being our guru, our yidam, our protector, our everything. And so this is what we think of as we're reciting this. You can always do the visualization first, read it in English first, then do the visualization, and then read it in Tibetan. You can do it that way. O daso kakyap sem chenji, chi su pe kar da wei teng. Rile pacho Chenrezig, karsal huzer adentro, Thegsum tuche Chenrezig, chashi tampo tal charze, oni shel treng pekarnam, Dardarin chen ji tre, rida pape to yo so, upa me pe ujen chen, shabni dorje kil trung shu, drime dawa chapten pa, Chabne kundu ngawar. And then we join our hands at our heart and make the following supplication, thinking that all sentient beings of the 6 realms that surround us are making it with us, as though with a single voice. It will be recited 3 times, the first time in English and the next 2 times in Tibetan. Lord, not touched by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns, gazing compassionately on all beings, to you, Chenrezig, I prostrate. O jo chenji mago kudokar, so sanje ki ulanjen, tuje chenji trolazim, Chenrezig la chatsalo, jo chenji mago kudokar, so sanje ki ulanjen, tuje chenji trolazib, Chenrezig la chatsalo. Next, we'll recite the 7 branch prayer. And there, while we are reciting this, we can think that Chenrezig is still above our heads and that we are still surrounded by all sentient beings. There won't be enough time for me to read this in English and Tibetan, so tonight I'm just going to recite it in Tibetan. Khenpo Karthar Rinpoche did not place his hands in prayer during this recitation, which I find curious, but that's the way it was done. So that's the way I'll do it this evening. But there are many different ways to do this practice. O Papa Chenrezig Wada Chochu Tu Sum Shupai Jawa Se Tam La Kune Tamwe Chatsalo Me To Du Mar Medri Shall Se Romo La Sopa Ngujor Iki Trul Pape Soki She Suso Toma Mene Tebar Mige Chudan Samhenga Semni Nyomo Wang Pe Dik Patam Che Shaparji Nien Tu Rang Jiao Jiang Chup Sem So Ke Wo La So Pe Du Sun Ge Wa Chi Sa Pe Sunam La Ni Ta Hirang Sem Chen Nam Ki Sampadang Lo Yi Che Dra Ji Tawar Che Chun Tum Moen Tek Pa Yi Chu Ki Kor Lo Kor Tu So Kor Wa Ji Si Ma Tong Par Nyan Yen Mi Da Tu Je Dung Ao Jat Sor Jing Wa Yi Sem Chen Tam La Sik Su So Da Gi Su Nam Chi Sa Pa Tam Che Jang Chup Jer Ne Ring Por Mi To Dro Wa Yi Dren Pe Pa Du Da Jur Chik. Next, we'll recite the prayer to Chenrezig. This one, let me see. I can't recall the author of this. It was either the great monk Pema Karpo or the great Gelongma Palmo who wrote the Nyungne practice. But this is praying to Chenrezig to bless and free beings in the 6 realms of existence. And so again, because of time, I won't be able to recite this in English and Tibetan, so I'll only recite it in Tibetan this evening. But I'll let you know which of the 6 realms we're working on. So the first one is a general supplication. O so adep so lama Chenrezig, so adep so yidam Chenrezig, so adep so pacho Chenrezig, so adep so kyapken Chenrezig, so adep so jamgun Chenrezig, tu Jesu shi jawa tu je chen, dame korwa drame kyang yerching, sume dungang Yahweh drowala. Gun poi kele kyapshen ha chi so nam ken sangye topar jinjilo. Now we ask for Chenrezig to bless and purify those who are reborn in hell due to their the force of anger. To me du ne le nyen sa pe tu she dan wang yin ya war ke gyur te sa dran du nga hon yang wei sem chen ham la chor ke ki drun du ke war shok. Om mane padme hum. Next, the hungry ghost realm. We pray for them to be released from their suffering through the force that comes about through the force of miserliness. Tome dune le nyen sa petu serne wangi tak ne suke tre kom du ngan yang wei sem chen ham xing cho po ta la ru ke war shok Om mane padme hum. Next, we ask him to give a blessing and purify those in the animal realm. Living beings, it says, through the force of bewilderment, are born as animals. And so we're going to pray for all of them now. Tome dune le nyen sa petu timu wangi du dror ke gyor te len ko du ngan yang wei sem chen ham kun po ke ki drung du ke war shok Om mane padme hum. Next, we pray for those in the human realm that Chenrezig bless them and free them. They have come to be reborn through the force of desire. Tome dune le nyen sa petu du cha wangi mi ne suke Drill pon du ngan yang wei sem chen ham xing cho de wa chen tu ke war shok Om mane padme hum. Next, we pray for those born as demigods. It says, born in the demigod realm through the force of jealousy. So we pray for Chenrezig to bless them and free them. Tome dune le nyen sa petu trado wangi lam hin ne suke tab su du ngan yang wei sem chen ham po ta la yi jing du ke war shok Om mane padme hum. Next, we pray for those reborn in the God realm, born, it says here, in the God realm through the force of pride. We pray for Chenrezig to bless them and free them. Tome dune le nyen sa petu nga jiao wangi la yi ne suke Potom du ngan yang wei sem chen ham po ta la yi jing tu ke war shok Om mane padme hum. And now we pray in general for all beings in the six realms, praying that they be freed from their suffering by the blessing of Chenrezig. Dani ke jing ke wa tam che tu Chenrezig dan ze pa sum pa yi ma da shingi dro nam dro wa tang sun cho yi dro cho chur ge par shok Pachor ke la soa de petu dagi do jar pe droanam le dre le ge we le lat son dro we dundu chu tang Den Parshok. Next, we say this prayer. where we imagine while we're reciting this prayer or before reciting this prayer, we can think about receiving blessing from Chenrezig, because we've just prayed to him and asked him to ripen beings, to bless beings, and to purify beings, and to help free them from their states of existence. And now we think that light comes from the form of the Chenrezig that's above our head, and it shines upon us and shines upon the vast crowd of beings of the 6 realms that surround us. We think that this light washes away all of the veils that cover our Buddha nature. It washes away our negative karma, our negative mental afflictions, our habitual tendencies, and even our basic ignorance. And washing away all of these veils, our Buddha nature is uncovered. And by the uncovering of our Buddha nature, by this purifying light, we and all beings as vast as space become Chenrezig's body, speech, and mind. Our body is now made of light, and we have the appearance of Chenrezig. We have his 4 arms. We have his brilliant, shining light, and we are made of light. And in our heart is the 6-petaled lotus open, with the syllables of the seed syllable Hri in the center, and the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum all around the heart. And we think that we are shining light, and that all beings everywhere have now been purified. Every being in the universe is now Chenrezig. And we are going to recite the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra together to bless all of the universe. So the prayer goes like this: having prayed like this one pointedly, light rays radiating from noble Chenrezig purify the appearances of delusion. The outer world of the environment becomes the pure land of Dewa Chen, the pure land of bliss. The body, speech, and mind of beings, this inner world, become the body, speech, and mind of Chenrezig. All appearance, sound, and awareness are inseparable from emptiness. Now I'll recite it in Tibetan. O de tar se chik so ta pe pa pe kule huser tru ma da le nan tru she zhang chi nu de wa chen chi shing nang chu ke dro lu nga sem Chenrezig wang ku son tok nandrari tong yer me jur. Now we're going to recite the Chenrezig mantra about 300 times, but we'll recite it together for the first few, and then after that we will be with all sentient beings reciting it together as a vast crowd. Here we go. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. And now, while we recite the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, we can think of ourselves as Chenrezig, our body made completely and utterly of light, and then all the beings in the universe, as vast as our imagination will go, are filled with small Chenrezigs, big Chenrezigs, tiny ones. Every being has been transformed into Chenrezig, and we're all reciting Om Mani Padme Hum together. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme. Om mani padme hum, 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 om mani. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani. Om mani padme hum, 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 om mani padme. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Now, in this period of quiet after the recitation of the mantra, we think that all of the beings, all through fast space, in the form of Chenrezig, they all dissolve into light, and that light that is all sentient beings, that light that is the entire universe as Dewa Chen, all of it dissolves into light and merges with the Chenrezig that's above our head. And then the Chenrezig that's above our head becomes all awakened beings. And then we think that the Chenrezig above our head dissolves into light and merges with us and blesses us. And we rest for just a moment, thinking that our mind and Chenrezig's mind have truly mixed. Then we as Chenrezig dissolve from the top of the head to the center of the heart, and from the bottom of the lotus flower beneath us to the free syllable in our heart. And then the free syllable in our heart dissolves from the bottom to the top, and then into emptiness where we rest. When we begin to think again, our discursiveness begins again. We then think, I am Chenrezig. And we then reimagine ourselves as Chenrezig. From the top of our head to the bottom of the lotus flower beneath us, we are now Chenrezig again. The whole world has become Dewa Chen once again, and all beings are Chenrezig again. And thinking of this, we then recite the next few, which say, the bodies of Mother, all remembrance and thought is the great expanse of primordial wisdom. O dajen lunam papeku Dra hige drupeyang, drento yeshe chempelang. Next, we recite a dedication prayer. Through the virtue of this practice, may I swiftly achieve the level of powerful Chenrezig. On this same level, may I place then every being, not one left behind. With all the merit of this meditation and repetition, may I and every being to whom I am connected. As soon as these immediately after taking birth there, may we pass through the 10 levels of awakening and fill the 10 directions with emanations to benefit others. Through this virtue, may all beings perfect the accumulations of merit and wisdom. May they then attain the 2 supreme kayas or body of the Buddha, which arise from merit and wisdom. May precious bodhichitta arise within those where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, may it ever grow and flourish. And so now we'll recite this in Tibetan. O Kewadi Yerduda, Chenrezig Wang Drup Journey, Drowa Chijang Malupa, Dei Salakupar Sho Itar Gonde Jipe Sunamki Dadan Tala Drel To Drowa Kun Mitsan Ludi Borwa Jurmata Dewa Chendu Tu Te Ke Warsho Ke Mata Tu Saju Rabdru Ne Drupe Chochura Jenten Je Parsho Ke Wadi Ke Woken Sunam Yeshe Tzote Sunam Yeshe Le Jongwe Dampa Kuni Toparsho Jang Chub Semni Rimpoche Ma Kye Panam Ke Kyorche Ke Panyam Pa Me Padang Kone Kondu Pelwarsho. And then we sit for a moment and rest quietly, looking into the empty mind of the being who just practiced and dedicated the merit. All right. Thank you. And we, I see from our time, we did fairly well. We completed the guided practice in a short period of time. So you can or you can, up to you.